All right, welcome everyone to our budget meeting for for July. Michael, you want to, I'm looking at our sales tax comparison, which is for May.
All right, good evening, everyone.
Go over there, Michael.
Michael.
Like way away.
Michael, sorry. See, this thing's right in my face. Do you have an extra copy by chance?
I don't.
We can share.
I'll share with Steve. Thanks.
We can
Lucky I brought
Christina
mine,
might.
'cause he's sharing with me.
She had some for the
just start charging.
public.
Right.
Could he not like sit at the table and talk to
I don't have one.
No, we don't want him up there.
Just share with Steve there. He'll be all right.
No, I'll just share it. I'm good.
She can send it to you.
No, I'll share. We're good.
Okay, so on page 1 is our sales tax comparison. So this is for the month of May. This would be tax that was collected in March, submitted to the state in April, and sent to us in May. $313,000, which is $32,000 over the previous year for 11.69% increase. Our numbers for June, the tax that we received for June and July, which would be for April and May, weren't as strong. It went down by $18,000 that we received in June, which would have been for April, and in July it went down. It was even, and so I'm anxious to see what comes in August for the month of June to see if we had a good month in June. But as of the end of May, we're at 4.69%. Currently, we're about 36,000 still over, so about 2% over where we were at this time last year. On page 2, you'll see the charts. You'll see that big spike in May going up for 2025. So that's a good sight. On page 3, you'll see this is the breakdown of the tax that received. The tax was collected in March, was remitted to the state in April. They sent it to us in May. Total amount that went into the general fund was $233,398.84. $54,838 went to streets. $58,755 went to parks, and $25,000 reserved out for the bond payment. I went ahead and did add fees on here so you could see we paid the actual tax that was collected was $382,000, but $10,000 of it went to fees. Over here on the annual side, that means we have collected through the month of May $883,000 for our general fund, $214,000 for streets, $229,000 for parks, and $125,000 towards our bond payment. On page 4, this is your sales and use tax fund distribution from the state. You'll see the total deposits was $382,485. We had service charge and interest earned, and so our total amount distributed that we received was $372,116.35. Page 5 is just the receipt from the state showing that breakout that we just talked about on the page with the different percentages and where they went to. On page 6, this is our sales tax collected by different categories. So in the month of May, which was tax collected for March, you can see our food and beverage kind of down towards the bottom was $57,111.75, which represents 14.39% of the tax. 14.93, I'm sorry. My eyes are not working. And then on lodging, it was $75,751.61, which represented 19.81% of the tax. And then the other industries, with the largest being retailers at $136,483, which represented 35.68% of the tax. Okay. The next page is the chart, just kind of showing, breaking those out in all those different categories. You can see retailers is the largest, followed by lodging, miscellaneous, and food and beverage. The next few pages, this is just the detail that makes up that chart, where all of that money comes from, or the different categories. That takes us through page 16.
Michael?
Yes, sir.
Just it's completely irrelevant. It's such a small amount. But what is support activities for animal production?
I have no idea. It's just a category. If you look on the detail page on page 8, it's the first category. And Ida, do you have any idea what that might be?
What was it?
Code 1152, support activities for animal production.
No idea.
It's not on there regularly. It kind of goes on and off. Some months they collect it, some months they don't. But I'm honestly not sure. Any other questions? Okay. Page 17, this is our revenue and expenditures report through the end of May 31st, 2025. The percentage of the fiscal year completed at this point is 41.37%. Our total income revenue that we have received through this point is $4,251,382, which represents 33% of our budgeted income. Our expenses are $4.9 million, which represents 39% of our budgeted expenses. At this point, you can see that there's a budgeted loss of $679,000. If you go to the bottom, you will see that that makeup is the capital infusion, where we have bought capital for the general for $254,000. The water department, we have spent capital expenditures there. Wastewater treatment plant, that is on the repairs that have been done. And then the transit, that is the amount they have spent on capital. So when you send back in our capital infusions, you'll see that we're operating about flat. So the money that we have spent that's showing as a loss is actually mainly capital investments. The next few pages are the detail. Revenue is off about 6% from where we had projected it to be. Sales tax operating is actually more than we had received at this time last year. Some of the things that have gone down a little bit are fines. Municipal fines have gone down. Our licenses, occupation licenses have gone down. Ambulance service fees, that's ambulance payments that we have collected, have gone down quite a bit. So that kind of makes up the negative part of the revenue.
Is that the Western District?
No,
Ambulance fees?
that's-
No.
Nope, that's the actual ambulance payments. Recent, the 01004122 is the reimbursement from the Western Carroll County Ambulance District. And we have received that payment. It was just posted in June, I believe. I want to say it's more than we had anticipated. If I remember right.
What are those ambulance fees that are down? I'm not familiar with that. I don't
That's
get it.
payments that we're receiving where we have billed people for our ambulance services, and then our collection department collects them and sends us the payments. So those are payments from insurance companies and from customers.
Yeah, that gets billed through the fire department. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Any other questions on the detail?
Yep.
Okay. All right. The next page that we're going to jump to is going to be 39, and that's going to be our capital expenditures.
Any surprises between where we just were in 39?
Good
No,
question.
the property taxes are down a little bit, so that's kind of been something that I've kind of been watching. We're also doing our mid-budget reviews, and I'm trying to cut budgets a little bit. So hopefully we can cut down that expense a little bit, our budget expenses a little bit. But there's not anything really that's, actually, there's kind of some good news. If you go to, let me get you there. If you go to 3442,
Page 34?
33 actually, go to
30,
33.
page 33?
33 of 42.
Okay.
This is the water and sewer department. And outside of our big expenses, the water and sewer department is doing a lot better. If you'll look that the total revenue for the water department, last year at this time, we had billed out $487,000. This year, we billed out $543,000. So our revenue has gone up. The revenue for the wastewater department, total department 22 on wastewater department, we had billed out $281,000. This year, we billed out $359,000. So last year at the same time, we had total revenues of $771,000, and this year we've got revenues of $905,000. So our income is going up for the water department. Then when you go into our billing, last year we had a lot of issues with water, and so we were spending a lot of money repairing leaks and things like that. So at the same time last year, we had spent $843,000 in water, and so far this year we've only spent $409,000, so half of what we had spent at the same time in water. Now, sewer, that goes up because last year at this time we had spent $670,000. This year we've spent $717,000. But if you'll look at those three numbers right above it, those are the major repairs that we have done on the water sewer, on the water treatment plant. So, you take those out of there and our expenses would be, our overall operating expenses would be a lot less than they were this time last year.
So, question.
Yes, ma'am.
We also had increases in water rates, so that helps, which is
Yes.
what we needed. When you do repairs and we have water leaks, who absorbs that? Because we buy our water from where?
Carol Boone. We buy it from Carol Boone. Whenever you have a water leak like that, it depends. It depends on where the leak is. If it's on our side of the meter, then we as the city absorb the cost of it. If it's on the other side of the meter, then that's to the homeowner or the business person.
I'm probably referring more to, and it's on the city side. So
Yes.
if we have a water leak, then it's water that the city has to absorb that.
Right. And when Simon gives you his water updates later, he can probably give you more information on that, because what he tracks is how much actual water is being between what we're selling and what we're actually buying, and he kind of has a little bit more information on how much water we're actually losing.
Okay,
He can give you that information.
thank you. I'm also a little surprised that property taxes are down. Do we know why they're down? Because that has nothing to do with sales, really, right?
We don't have anything to really track that with. It could be when people are paying their property taxes. It could have to do with sales. It could have to do with a lot of things. We usually get a very large payment in November. It could be that more people are paying towards the end of the year than the first of the year. We just don't really have anything to track that. All we get is a deposit from them. We don't get any type of invoice or information showing what that represents.
So if it's an
Depends on
escrow.
how, sometimes the bank pays your mortgage, you have.
That's what I'm saying, if it's an escrow.
But a lot of times it's not included in your escrow. Like for me, I wait until December, 10th to pay it. And
Could
a
it
lot of
help
people
this
do
look
that
better?
for
Not
property
December
tax.
10th.
Huh? Beg
Kidding,
pardon,
Susan.
Terry?
Your property taxes?
Yeah.
December 10th?
No, I said October, well, I meant October 10th. If I said December 10th, October 10th. yeah.
Does this include also property that's sold, that when they pay a tax?
Yes.
So would the slower market mean we get collecting less money?
Yes.
Well, but somebody owns that property, so you have to pay taxes on it for whoever owns it, whether it's sold or not sold.
Yeah.
No,
It
what he's
could just change the time of year when it's being paid. If
Right,
it's sold
yeah.
at certain points.
Right.
As long as end of year looks kind of consistent.
Yeah.
What Steve's referring to is when property sells, your taxes, they go ahead and pay those as a closing expense. And so that's what's been paid to date primarily. Most people, you know, they may pay quarterly. There's some that do that. Most don't, but some do. But most wait like Butch, you know, to the tax deadline.
Yeah, but I guess when you're doing comparisons, you'd think they'd be about the same. But I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Makes
So
sense.
you're right. I mean, there's not as much property probably selling
Yeah.
as there has been. So that could, I think the market has slowed a little bit, but.
Okay, so on page 39, this is our capital expenditures. As you can see, our police, we had budgeted 2 vehicles. They have purchased those. The fire, he has purchased his 2 new life packs. He has purchased some of his fire hoses and equipment, and he's purchased his thermal drone. So he's out of budgeted $222,000. He spent $157,000. The water and sewer, they purchased the F-250, the F-150, and the dump truck. And then on transit, he has ordered the tram and paid for half of it, but it hasn't come in yet. And then he's done some of his vehicle maintenance. So he spent some of his capital. On page 40 of 42, this is our comparison bank balances year and month end. So in April 30th of 2025, we finished with $5.1 million in the bank. In May 31st, we finished with $5.2 million in the bank. On page 41, you'll see our chart, kind of how it mirrors the previous years and for front of the increases and the decreases in the balances. And then our last page is 42 of 42. This is our long-term debt. Our next payment on our bond is on 10/1 of 2025. It'll be a payment then of $292,000. Our solar lease project, we pay that monthly. And then all of our CDs are currently invested and have maturities of 2026. So any questions?
So I'm sure everybody here has received a copy of the Arkansas Legislative Audits Engagement Letter.
Yes.
Is that something we should be worried about?
Yes. What that is they come out and they visit with me and the mayor and some of the department heads, and we sign a letter of agreement just engaging them to do the audit, saying that we're going to cooperate and we're going to give them everything that they want, everything that they need, and it's just allowing them to come in and do the audit.
Okay.
So, yeah, we met with them 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. We have the same auditor that we had last year, so that's really good. We really like him.
Right.
And he has a new person working with him, so we're real excited about it going good.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Quick question on the liabilities on 42, page 42. So looking at the sales and use tax bond, so am I reading this correctly and showing that that bond will be retired in 27?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
We make one interest payment in April, and then we make a interest and principal payment in October. And so when you go back to page, let me find out where I'm going here. Go back to page 3. If you'll see where where we go on our distributions and we go over that, they take this amount every month out of our sales and use tax. That 1% that's dedicated towards that bond goes to the bank. The bank removes the $25,124.10, and then they send us the balance of it. So they hold that money so that when it comes time to make that payment, there's enough money in the bank to make that payment. So that's the two. That's what that's referring to when I say they're taking out the bond payment. So.
Yeah, thank you for that explanation.
You're welcome. That's kind of confusing. Anything else? All right.
Thank you, Michael.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, is there any other questions?
I don't think.
All right, if not, we will adjourn the budget workshop and reconvene in 20 minutes or so for the city council.